Hello, and welcome to another update video about Solana. Solana has moved a little bit here out of our support zone to the upside. Bitcoin had a bit of upside earlier today, still up from what it was yesterday. Yeah, but Solana is still moving within this range. We talked about the idea that either wave 4 is already in here, that wave 4 completed on Wednesday the 20th, or maybe wave 4 is still unfolding, but that's both part of the same scenario, which is basically an unfolding wave 4, which should still allow for one more high. I mean, that would be my forecast, that one more high in wave 5 seems to be likely, okay? And there are just two ways how this could unfold. And the first wave, the wave 4 already bottomed, and this here is an A, B, C structure. And if this is going to be A, B, C in one go, or if this is an A, B, C, which will be a larger A, okay, and then we come down in B and then rally in C, we will have to see. But the bottom line was, or the main takeaway, as long as and that's very actionable for traders, as long as the $167.90 level is holding, the focus can be on higher. Below that level, it's quite clear the chart would have clarified that the white C wave to the downside is likely unfolding, yeah? So these are the two scenarios. Essentially, this is one large support zone, which we have to consider for SOL. There are just two ways to get there that I can see. I mean, essentially there are more, but for example, there would be a possibility of a triangle pattern here, but there's currently not enough evidence for it. So let's talk about the two scenarios and maybe add a third one. But they are, again, I can only repeat it, they are all part of the same scenario. So I'm tracking here wave 4 with a wave 5 to come. I would only have to change my perspective if there's a break below 131, and because that would be a break below support and too deep for a reliable wave 4. Already a break below $143.70 is ideally avoided, because that would already be very, very weak for a fourth wave, even in a diagonal. So it's just that there are, of course, different ways how a wave 4 can unfold. And I covered in our member live stream today why it is so difficult to try to predict the exact path a microstructure can take. But I still show you what I believe are the most probable microstructures in this correction. So let's start with the short-term bullish count in which the wave 4 already bottomed. As I said, this would be an A wave, a B wave, and we would rally in a C wave. Then we have to take it from there and say, okay, we've got ABC complete. It's above the previous high. That's enough for this wave 5 technically, yeah. And possibly we are already done. But if the next pullback is corrective and we will add a support area, then we're going to do another low, a higher low, and another higher high. Again, what's the condition for this scenario? Make or break point is that B wave low at $167 pretty much. In the, let's say, white count, okay, in the C wave, the short-term bearish count, the move down was an A wave. This here is a B wave rally. And then we are now in a C wave to the downside. It doesn't really, I mean, if this is a C wave down, then this would be, as I said, confirmed with a break below that $167 level, whereas the other count will basically be invalidated, right? So in this scenario here, this would be a wave 1 to the downside, a wave 2 to the upside, 3 down, 4 up, 5 down. That would be the white count basically. But it's also possible, it's entirely possible that, for example, the white B wave is still unfolding, maybe even as a triangle, or it's going higher. There are just too many options, for these micro counts. So as I always say, don't focus so much on the microstructures. Don't see them as too predictive, especially not in a correction. So what's much more important is to understand what the relevant resistance and support levels are. And in terms of support, I mentioned very clearly what the make or break point for the more direct bullish scenario is. So that's how we can distinguish between the two counts, yellow and white. And it's normal that in corrections the microstructures change. That's why I often say don't trade the count, trade the levels. Okay, so if there is a C wave to the upside, doesn't mean you have to hold the position until the end. Rather, it might be worth scaling into support, which would have been successful already. And then as the price climbs higher and makes some profits available, taking some profits, it might test support again, buying again. You know, it rallies, selling again. It's just a range basically. And it could take a little while here for it to play out. But essentially support is clear. That tells you what the risk is. And there isn't much more to update. I'm just thinking if this is forming now a series of lower highs and higher lows, then we're dealing with some kind of a triangle, which, as I said, could be the B wave. B waves can be triangles, for example. That's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.